Have you ever listened to the silence from which your name arises? That very first sound, the one that has called you back to yourself since your first breath, is more than a label. It is a vibration, a current of energy flowing from the great river of existence. In my tradition, we are taught that nothing is an accident. The shape of a mountain, the path of a river, the first letter of your name. These are all sacred signatures. They are echoes of a choice your soul made, a primary energy it chose to explore in this lifetime. Ancient wisdom shows us that symbols are bridges. They connect the world we see with the world we feel. They link our thinking mind to the quiet, vast knowing of the heart. Your name, and that first sound, is a personal symbol of immense power. It is a mantra whispered in the ear of the universe each time it is spoken. It is the starting point of your unique path. This is not a cage. This is not about trapping a vast soul within a single letter. A map is not the territory. A description of water is not thirst quenching. This is an invitation to awakening, a key to unlock what is already present within you, shaping your journey from a place deeper than thought. See each letter not as a definition, but as a path, a way of being that your soul is learning to walk. A, the path of the source. If A is your first letter, your soul flows with the energy of pure beginning. It is the seed that breaks the earth, the first ray of dawn. It is the courage to create a path where none exists. This energy does not ask for permission. It arises. Those who walk this path are often called to lead, not from a desire for power, but because they carry the impulse of a new beginning. Their dharma, their sacred duty, is to initiate flow. They start the difficult conversation, launch the bold venture, or take the first step toward a new truth. But the fire that creates can also consume. The shadow of this path is impatience. The courage to begin can harden into a need to control. The journey for the A soul is to learn that true power does not force. It inspires. They become the calm source from which the river of action flows. B, the way of the harbor. If B is your first letter, your soul understands the language of presence. The shape of B creates a vessel, a safe harbor. It is the stillness that holds, the earth that receives. This path does not seek the spotlight. It creates a sanctuary. The energy of B is to nurture, to provide the quiet ground where life can safely unfold. Their gift is not in being seen, but in truly seeing. Their strength is not in loud proclamations, but in unwavering presence. The shadow of this path is erasure. In holding space for everyone else, they can lose their own shape. Peace can be bought at the price of their own truth. The practice for the B soul is to become a vessel with strong walls, able to hold water without dissolving into it. They teach us that true peace comes not from fixing, but from being a calm and steady presence in the storm. C, the stream of expression. If C is your first letter, your soul is a flowing stream of curiosity and connection. The letter itself is open, a crescent moving toward fullness. It bends, it adapts, it flows. Those on this path are natural translators. They take the raw data of life, feelings, ideas, moments, and weave them into stories, art, and meaning. They build bridges of understanding. Their minds are like rivers, always exploring, always moving, connecting disparate shores. But the shadow of constant flow is the fear of stillness. The current of words and ideas can become a way to avoid the silent depths. The practice is to find the pool within the stream, to let expression arise from deep feeling, not just from the busy mind. When they do, they become a clear channel, helping others see their own reflection in the water. D, the path of the builder. If D is your first letter, your soul carries the wisdom of the mountain, solid, grounded, patient. The energy of this path is structure and foundation. D souls are here to build. They do not drift on currents. They place one stone upon another with care and dedication. They build families, careers, and dreams that last. They find the sacred in the process, honoring each step of the journey. But the shadow of the mountain is rigidity. The world flows and changes, and the mountain that refuses to adapt can become a prison of its own making. The work is to learn that true strength has roots, but its branches can sway in the wind. When balanced, The D soul becomes the bedrock others rely on, the silent, unshakable strength that gives others the courage to build something true. E, the way of the horizon. If E is your first letter, your soul is a great bird, always gazing toward the horizon. This is the energy of the seeker, the explorer, the eternal student of life. They are pulled by the question, what lies beyond? E, souls are restless for truth and hungry for experience. They journey far and wide, not just in the world, but in the landscapes of the mind and spirit. They collect perspectives as a bird collects branches for its nest. The shadow of the eternal journey is a fear of landing. Wisdom is not only gathered, it must be integrated in stillness. The energy can become scattered, always seeking, never arriving. The practice is to learn that every destination is a temporary resting place. When they master this, they become a source of fresh wind, blowing through stagnant rooms and reminding us all to look up at the vastness of the sky. F, the way of the graceful heart. If F is your first letter, your soul walks with a quiet elegance. It speaks the language of harmony and balance. EF souls are attuned to the subtle energies between people, within spaces, and inside the heart. They are the natural peacemakers, the diplomats of the soul, who feel a deep pull to smooth conflict and create beauty. They seek the middle path not from weakness, but from a profound desire for unity. The shadow here is deep, suppressing one's own truth to maintain the peace. They can silence their own song to avoid creating a dissonant note. The practice is to find a harmony that includes their own voice. When they do, they become a calming presence, softening hardened hearts not through effort, but through the simple grace of their being. G, the path of the inner well. If G is your first letter, your soul is drawn inward, toward the deep, silent well of wisdom. The shape of the letter spirals down into a center. This is the path of the guardian, the mystic, the one who protects the sacred flame of the inner life. G, souls listen more than they speak. They understand that the loudest truths are often found in complete stillness. They guard the gates to the soul's deepest chambers. The shadow of the guardian is the fortress. The walls built for protection can become a prison of isolation. Silence, a tool for healing, can become a means of avoidance. The practice is to learn which gates to open and when. When they do, they become a quiet guide, able to sit with another's darkness without needing to light a candle, knowing the darkness itself holds wisdom. H, the way of the bridge. If H is your first letter, your soul carries the energy of sacred connection. It stands with a foot on two shores, bridging worlds. Spirit and matter, mind and heart, chaos and order. The H soul lives in the space between. They have a natural ability to see all sides, to hold opposing truths in a single, compassionate embrace. Their sacred work is synthesis, to weave disparate threads into a coherent whole. The shadow of the bridge is indecision. Pulled in all directions, they can feel frozen, unable to commit to a single path. The work is to become the bridge itself, strong, stable, and committed to its purpose of connection. When awakened, they teach us that truth is rarely found in the extremes, but in the sacred union of opposites. I, the pillar of light. If I is your first letter, your soul is a direct, unwavering pillar of light. The single, vertical line. It stands for centeredness, integrity, and sacred selfhood. This is the path of the witness. Souls feel a profound need to be true to their own inner axis, to their core, even if it means walking a path alone. They are an anchor of self-awareness in a world of distraction. But the shadow of standing alone is lonely isolation. The practice is to remember that connection does not require one to bend. A lighthouse does not move, yet its light connects it to every ship in the sea. In their balance, souls become beacons, reminding others how to find their own inner compass, simply by the power of their aligned and unwavering example. J, the path of the joyful flame. If J is your first letter, your soul carries the energy of a sacred, dancing fire. This is not the fleeting heat of happiness, but the deep, abiding warmth of joy that has been tested in the fires of experience. Jade souls possess a radiant quality. They are on a crusade, not of anger, but of love, a passionate commitment to justice. Light, and the full expression of life's vitality. Their journey is to live with purpose and heart. The shadow of this passionate fire is the desire to save everyone. They can burn out trying to be the sole source of warmth for the world. The practice is to tend their own flame first, to trust that its light is enough. Their gift is not to save the world, but to be an authentic and joyful fire that inspires others to find their own inner flame. K, the warrior of clarity. If K is your first letter, your soul wields a sword of truth. This is the warrior's path, but the battle is against illusion. K, souls possess a sharp, piercing clarity. They have an innate ability to cut through noise, pretense, and confusion to see the simple, sometimes uncomfortable, truth. They are catalysts. Their presence in a room or a conversation can create sudden, necessary movement. They ask the questions that shatter comfortable lies. The shadow of the sword is harshness. Truth without compassion can become a weapon. The practice is to learn the art of the skillful cut, to wield clarity with a healer's touch. When they do, they become a sacred mirror, showing others their own truth so clearly that it can no longer be ignored. L, the way of the deep listener. If L is your first letter, your soul has the rare gift of deep listening. They do not just hear words, they hear the heart behind the words. They are the soul whisperers, the empaths who create sacred space with their attention. This empathy is not a passive sponge, but an active, compassionate presence. Their dharma is relational alchemy. They turn the lead of isolation into the gold of connection, simply by being truly present. The shadow is profound, losing oneself in the other. In listening so deeply to others, they can forget to listen to their own needs. The practice is remembering you cannot draw water from an empty well. When they master this, they show us the transformative power of being seen, heard, and held in love. M, the sacred architect. If M is your first letter, your soul carries the steady, powerful energy of the earth itself. It is the path of the maker, the master builder who takes the dreams of the spirit and gives them form in the world. M, souls have a mystical connection to the act of creation. They understand that bringing something real into existence requires not just a flash of inspiration, but patient, devoted effort. They are the bedrock of community and family. The shadow is taking the weight of the whole world onto their own foundation. They can overgive and overwork, trying to build everything for everyone. The practice is to build their own inner temple first. When balanced, they are the sacred architects of our world, building not just projects, but legacies of love and stability. N, the river navigator. If N is your first letter, your soul knows how to navigate the river of change. It possesses a fluid grace and an inner compass that works best in uncertainty. Where others see chaos, N, souls see patterns and flow. They are masters of adaptation, but their flexibility comes from a deep place of inner trust, not from weakness. They move through life's currents with an intuitive sense of where the path is opening. The shadow of the river is that it can erode its own banks. In flowing with everything, they risk losing their groundedness. The practice is to learn to flow from a still center. When balanced, they become a living demonstration of trust, trust in the journey, and trust in the wisdom that unfolds when we let go of our need to control the destination. O, the circle of being. If O is your first letter, your soul resonates with the energy of wholeness and completion. The letter is a perfect circle, no beginning, no end, all encompassing. It is the path of the silent observer, the one who sees with clarity from a place of deep inner unity. O, souls do not need to be the center of attention. They are already the center of their own universe. They embody a quiet completeness. The shadow of wholeness is a detached self-sufficiency. In feeling complete, they may resist the messy, beautiful work of connection. The practice is to remember that the circle holds everything, including relationships. When they integrate this, they become a living sanctuary, a still point of peace that allows others to find their own center simply by being near. P, the keeper of the flame. If P is your first letter, your soul burns with a single, focused flame of purpose. This is not the wildfire of raw passion, but the steady light of a lantern carried with intention. P. Souls are here for a reason. They walk a path of service and commitment to something greater than themselves. They lead not by commanding, but by embodying their mission with such integrity that others are inspired to find their own. The shadow of the focused flame is inflexibility. They can become so fixated on the destination that they miss the wisdom of the journey. The practice is to hold the vision lightly, allowing the path to reveal itself. When they do, they become a North Star, a constant, guiding light that helps others navigate through the darkness of confusion. Q, the sacred questioner. If Q is your first letter, your soul carries the rare and powerful energy of the divine question. It is the path of the mystic and the sage, the one who looks at the world of easy answers and says, "Is that truly so?" Q, souls are at home in the mystery. They are comfortable in the space between the known and the unknowable. Their gift is to disrupt false certainty and create an opening for deeper truth to emerge. The shadow is becoming lost in the questions, a chronic doubt that prevents any sense of inner peace. The practice is to learn to trust the question itself as the answer. When balanced, they become a sacred catalyst whose gentle inquiries can shatter entire paradigms of illusion. R, the resonant heart. If R is your first letter, your soul vibrates with the rich music of the heart. This is the path of the passionate creator, the one who feels life without filters. They don't just experience emotions, they become the emotion, allowing joy, grief, and love to move through them completely. They are the artists of life, and their art is expressed in everything they do. The shadow is the flood. The heart that is so open can be overwhelmed by its own intensity. They risk drowning in the river of their own feeling. The practice is to become the riverbank as well as the river, to build a container strong enough to hold their immense heart. When they do, they become a living song, reminding us what it feels like to be fully, vibrantly human. S, the serpentine healer. If S is your first letter, your soul moves with the fluid, serpentine wisdom of water and wind. This is the path of the shapeshifter, the one who understands that nothing is fixed, everything changes, and the only constant is flow. S, souls are natural healers. They heal not by fixing, but by showing others how to move around obstacles, how to bend without breaking. They navigate life's complexities with an intuitive grace. The shadow of constant motion is losing one's center. The serpent that is always moving can forget the feeling of stillness. The practice is to find the quiet, unmoving point within the spiral. From this place, they become sacred medicine, teaching us the profound wisdom of adaptation, flow, and graceful transformation. T, the guardian of truth. If T is your first letter, your soul stands like a great, ancient tree, rooted in the earth, reaching for the heavens. It is the pillar of integrity, the guardian of what is right and true. T's souls carry an unshakable inner structure, a moral compass that guides them with quiet authority. They protect others not with force, but with the strength of their presence. They lead not with words, but by example. The shadow of this unbending strength is rigidity. The tree that cannot sway in the storm will break. Truth wielded without compassion can become a weapon of judgment. The practice is to learn that integrity includes grace. When balanced, they become a standard of honor, reminding us what it means to choose courage over comfort and truth over convenience. U, the sacred vessel. If U is your first letter, your soul embodies the profound grace of the open chalice. This is the path of the divine receiver, the one who creates and holds sacred space for others. U souls possess a unique gift of non-judgment. Their presence feels so safe that others feel permission to be completely themselves, to unburden their hearts and reveal their true faces. They heal through their capacity to witness. The shadow is depletion. A cup that is always being poured out will eventually become empty. The sacred lesson is boundaries. They must learn that the walls of the cup are what make the holding possible. When integrated, they become the sacred chalice, transforming ordinary conversations into holy communion through the power of pure acceptance. V, the arrow of vision. If V is your first letter, Your soul is a sharply focused arrow of insight. It flies straight and true, piercing through the fog of confusion to a point of clarity. This is the path of the visionary. V souls do not just see what is, they see what is possible. They are masters of strategy, but their strategy is about alignment with truth, not manipulation. They can distill a complex situation down to its essential point. The shadow of the arrow is tunnel vision. In focusing so intently on the target, they can miss the beauty and wisdom of the landscape they are flying through. The practice is to honor both the journey and the destination. When balanced, they become the sacred arrow, teaching us how to find our aim and cut through all that distracts us from what truly matters. W, the sacred weaver. If W is your first letter, your soul carries the wisdom of the weaver, the one who brings many different threads together into a beautiful and complex whole. This is the path of integration. W souls are comfortable with paradox. They can hold seeming contradictions, light and dark, joy and pain, structure and flow, and see them as part of a single, magnificent tapestry. They see the connections that others miss, creating harmony from chaos. The shadow is becoming tangled in the threads. The sheer complexity they can perceive can lead to overwhelm and mental chaos. The practice is learning to choose which threads to weave and which to let go. When they master this, they become a living masterpiece, showing us how to honor the rich complexity of life without losing our way. X, the sacred crossroads. If your name begins with X, your soul stands at a powerful and rare intersection. This is the path of the threshold keeper, the one who guards the crossroads between one world and the next, between who you were and who you are becoming. X souls are catalysts for profound transformation, in themselves and in others. They are at home at the point where great forces meet. Their energy is like an electrical charge, capable of initiating deep and permanent change. The shadow of the crossroads is rootlessness, of being everywhere and nowhere at once. The practice is to learn to be the solid ground at the center of the intersection. When they do, they become a sacred portal, a living gateway that helps others cross from an old life into a new, more authentic reality. Y, the eternal seeker. If Y is your first letter, your soul is shaped like a question that reaches for the heavens. This is the path of the sacred seeker, the philosopher of the heart. They look at life not with doubt, but with a deep, reverent curiosity. Why is their mantra. Why? Souls are not satisfied with surface answers. They must journey to the root of things, seeking the deeper meaning in all of life's experiences. They are on a pilgrimage to understand. The shadow of the eternal question is a feeling of existential homelessness, an anxiety that comes from always searching and never finding. The practice is to realize that the journey itself is the home. The seeking is the finding. When they embrace this, their very life becomes a sacred question that inspires all of us to stop sleepwalking and start wondering. Z, the spiral of completion. If Z is your first letter, your soul carries the wisdom of the end that is also a beginning. It is the final letter, but its energy is not one of stopping, but of completing a cycle to begin the next on a higher level. This is the path of the sacred spiral. Z's souls have an innate understanding of life's impermanence and rhythms. They are masters of transformation, understanding how to gracefully let one form die, so that a new one may be born. They bring things to a close with wisdom and peace. The shadow is a cool detachment from the present moment, already seeing its end before it has fully been lived. The practice is to be fully present in the dance, even while knowing the song will end. When balanced, they teach us life's most profound lesson, that there are no true endings, only endless opportunities to begin again. This letter is not a destiny written in stone. It is a key, a starting note in the song only you can sing. The wisdom has been there since your beginning, a quiet whisper beneath the noise of the world. Now, you have heard it more clearly. The journey home is not outward, to a new place or a new person. It is inward, to the self that has always been waiting. Your name is calling you. I invite you to answer.